Fedhealth Medical Aid, nothing's more important than the well-being of your baby and little one, which is why our FlexiFed 2 and 3 plans enrich your pregnancy and parenting experience with benefits like unlimited GP visits, a doula benefit, a private ward for delivery, trauma treatment in a casualty ward, and our free Fedhealth Baby program. To get more choice, flexibility, and control from your growing family's medical aid, call Fedhealth today. Fedhealth, we let you be you.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Wait, where's the baby?
The baby?
Is she sleeping?
She sleeps. The lion sleeps tonight. The baby sleeps today.
How old is the lioness?
She is almost going to be 11 months. On the 1st, she'll be 11 months. So she's...
That is insane.
She's walking. And by walking, I mean running.
So you're really lucky. You're really lucky because most of us follow the book, you know, the milestone book, and then it says all kinds of things. My first baby walked at 10 months and the second one walked at 14 months.
Friend, I was 18 months when I walked it. I spent a lot of time scooching. You know that little bum scooch?
That you do. Multiple award-winning actor turned writer-director Quanita Adams has been on local stages and screens, both big and small, over the past 20 years. From playing Sunny in Forgiveness, which won her international acclaim and the inaugural SAFTA for Best Actress in a feature film, to more recent portrayal of Letitia, a mentally unstable homeless woman in the hit TV series Arendsvlei, which she also took part in writing in. We're going to talk about her writing, the films, the babies that she's had in 2020 and in 2021. Welcome to Baby Brunch. I am so excited.
Yay, I'm so excited to be here. It's incredible. I love what you do.
Thank you.
I love what you do, the podcasts, the fact that in those early hours when I just can't, I can pop you and your panel of experts in my ear. Just remind myself that it's fine. You're not the first, you're not the last. It's just what it is. It's where you are right now. Thank you for keeping me company.
Anytime. I mean, that's the reason we did it, because we wanted to support people, right? Actually, I needed the support first. And then I said to Ian, we need to start something where other people can feel included. But has it been a big adjustment for you, becoming mommy and shifting from Quanita Superstar Adams to Quanita Superstar Adams with baby and husband and house and a cot and a pram?
I mean, I would be lying if I said it didn't. Also, a global pandemic. I think that's the kicker, right? Because if you think your life has changed in ways you didn't even imagine, to become a mom for the first time, becoming a mom for the first time in isolation.
Yeah.
It's weird because it's my experience, right? It's the only thing I know. It's the only thing our daughter knows. It's the only thing my husband knows.
It's so weird you say that. When we moved from, we had to move from Cape Town to Gauteng, right? And it was the time that we had water shortages. So by the time we arrived in Joburg, our little one has never had a bath ever. So we drew her a bath and she was afraid to get into it. She just couldn't because she's never had a bath. No, we used to bath her in a kommetjie, mos 'n klein badjie, like a small. So she's never been in a bath, and lockdown came, so she's kind of used to pandemics and stuff. So I think
we say that our daughter is COVID manira. She takes social distancing, so she don't like people. She will give you the stankest side eye, and I'm like, people are like, oh, she's so beautiful, and she's just like.
So it's not a bad thing, because one of our recent books that we actually had on Baby Brunch teaches you that not every stranger with a smile is your friend. So maybe she's doing all the right stuff. Listen, let's talk about your work. 2020 was a tough year for most. You just mentioned lockdown and COVID. We talk about it all the time. But the truth is, most of us either talked better and more frequently about mental health, made a baby, and made a whole movie. So let's start with baby first.
Yes. The human baby?
Yes.
Yeah, she got made. She got brought into the world, and I always say
congratulations.
Thank you so much. She was born on the 1st of May, so it's an international public holiday, Workers' Day, and girlfriend, we work day. She worked.
Oh.
And on the day that she was born, we moved from level 5 to level 4. And it was so interesting. I got into the lift and I went to the labor ward, which happened to be on the 4th floor. It's like level 4. And I was just like, well, if that's not a sign, I don't know what is. So, I mean, we had to cancel baby showers. We had stuff that was waiting on various delivery services.
When was your due date?
On the 1st of May. So I had a scheduled cesarean section because I'm old. What's referred as a geriatric pregnancy. I like to say advanced maternal age.
We have all been at an advanced maternal stage. And I think sometimes it's better for us because I respect young mummies, but I'm glad I had my babies older. Okay, back to 4th floor. This is very interesting.
So it was a scheduled cesarean and she arrived. I mean, she's tiny. You know what I mean? So the 3 things that we had in the house were already too big for her because she really came in small. She has since grown.
Tripled in size. I've seen a picture of her.
I thank you. We take her to a park just across the road and they are 1-year-olds that she towers over. So clearly she loves the food. Which is wonderful. You know, she's healthy and she's so pleasant and quirky. I don't know where she gets it from, to be quite honest.
Me neither.
So we were in the hospital, and because the hospital's across the road, we walked there. Like I was booked in for 5 o'clock, so at 6 minutes to 5, we walked across the road. And then when they discharged us, they were like, okay, cool, where's the car seat? I was like, no, my mommy's waiting outside of the pram. And they were like, sorry? I was like, yeah, the pram. They were like, what are you going to do with the pram? I'm like, I'm going to walk my baby home. They were like, well, that's very unusual. You know, that's not really accepted. It's not a done thing. I'm like, check it. Just look there. You see that building. You see that balcony. You see that person waving. It's my auntie. I'm going to put my baby in the pram outside and then I'm going to walk across the road. They were like, but you've also just had surgery. I'm like, yeah. So I'm, slowly I'll walk. They didn't believe me. They came and literally escorted us so that they could see for themselves that my mom was waiting there with the pram. I'm like, I can wave at you in the 3 minutes that it's going to take me to get to my house. But so that is it. And then, it's been great that she's just had us. My husband is also working from home. He gets to work remotely. I've been working from home. So she really just has us. So that primary kind of relationship is so solid, and so much has been said, so much has been written about these primary relationships at this stage. So we feel very privileged that she's had that and she's had us kind of at that intensity. But of course, on the other side is we also wanted to socialize. We wanted to see other kids. And so it's this constant, half my family hasn't met her yet.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's this balance that you've got to strike between enjoying and embracing the positive things that being kind of in a lockdown has brought us, but then also trying to work against that as much as we can.
It's just, what's incredible, because I remember when she was born and I was elated. So I call Quanita my cousin, even though we're not related at all, but I have this love for you and the things that you do and how you make people feel. Because when I look at you and the work that you do, and even the mom that you are, I have this feeling that you are invincible and that anything that you attempt, when I send her a gift, the response I get on a WhatsApp is elation, and you just go, I want that kind of joy, So you make people laugh without you even knowing you are really funny. But apart from that, you almost make us believe, as Black and white and colored people, and as people from Cape Town and as people sitting in Gauteng who's going to be home tomorrow, that as women that we can do anything, because even in your work, those are the stories that you tell. And then thank God you had a daughter. You had a daughter because you could have had any baby, right? And it's wonderful that you could have also had a son. But then you had a daughter.
Yeah. Yes. And firstly, she don't look like me. Number one.
Neither does my children.
No, that's not true. That's not true. Your kids look like you.
No,
Your kids also, can I just say, I love what you said about the birthday, that you've always wanted to be their mother. That for me, like, I also look up to you as the kind of mother that you are. Coming from the community that we come from, where the idea of mothering was not always a given in a way that we associate with tenderness and generosity and availability.
Yeah.
You know, that's also the reality for many of the women who come from where we come from, that they didn't have time to mother in a way they would have dreamed to mother their children. And we get to do that because of them, you know. And just to see how you mother, and also how you strike that delicate balance of how much of your family life you're going to make available to your broader community and audience, and how much you keep close, like that line between the private and personal and then the public. You know, they say that children, your babies come with a loaf of bread. I came with a bakery. Because people were sending things. People did curbside drop-offs. We got... I love the story. Brian ran to the garden center, and he was in a shop, and he was just throwing things in a trolley. And an older woman looked at him, and she said to him, "Are you having a baby?" He's just like, well, my wife's having a baby. And she was like, "You're having a baby? It's your first time?" He's like, yes. She's like, "Let me help you." And she completely calmed him down, and she was just like, "You're going to need that.
Right.
You're going to need that. Take a whole bunch of that." And he came home with like all these things. He was just like, there was this angel in the aisle, and she helped me. Right. And so I think that, you know, nature will fill a vacuum, right? And even in the absence of closeness and connectedness and intimacy, we find a way. And that's what this little baby has taught me, you know. And you talk about Quanita, the actor. If anything is gonna get you to gently and lovingly set down a thing that you carried, in my case, my career for 20 years, it's this person who forces you to be present. And I have no regrets about that. I feel like the two of us, she helped me put it down. She was just like, "Mom, it's great. Let's put it down for now. And there's a new play now. There's the new thing that you're working on, you know."
Who was your biggest support when you were pregnant and about to have your baby? How did you know who you could rely on?
You. I had like a little... No, for real. So there are women in my life who are mothers, right? And I had a little core group of women who were at my stage of the journey. So first moms, so that I could speak to women and be like, "Guys, I don't know what's going on," and have someone else in that same space. Then I had mothers of kids who were slightly older, and you, and a very good friend of mine from high school. Those were the women that I could reach out to. And in fact, a new friend that I made through friends of my husband, whose daughter is a year older than ours, just so that I could measure against kind of where we were. And I just needed to know it's not going to last forever. It's going to change. Then my mom, who is the auntie who goes to women who've just had babies, because she's the baby whisperer. And then my husband's, you talk about mother-in-law. My mother-in-law, she's retired now, but was a neonatal nurse, which you will know, the magic of nurses who take care of babies who join us a little bit ahead of schedule, on the right time, at their time, but just, you know what I'm, those kids that come while we were still busy preparing.
Having my nails done.
Thank you. So she's a neonatal nurse. And in a way, the time zone difference between South Africa and America really helped us. Because let me tell you, those cluster feeds, the gastro, all of those, in that first couple of months, we would phone, and she would know if she was getting calls at this time that it was something. So between Brian's mom, my mom, and then an entire fleet a squadron of strong women, of which you were a general. I knew that I could at any time contact you. And the fact that you would often end a lot of your messages with, "You're an amazing mom. You're doing a great job."
But you are.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You don't feel that.
You know what's best for your baby. You, only you. Even if you don't know, you're the only one that knows what's best for your baby because she came from you.
Yes. But that can sometimes even be a bit paralyzing because sometimes there are moments where there's just nothing. You're so tired that you're like, well, my instinct is telling me to sleep, which is not good for the baby because she's crying. So it was in those moments where you're like, yay, maternal instinct.
Yeah.
If you want to just kick in at this point, you know, people ask, I always say this, ask me anything. I know nothing. Like, seriously, ask me anything. I know nothing. That will always be. But what a humbling, what a thing.
Yeah, it is.
You know me. I'm like out there. I know the things. I'm so confident. I'm so clear in my purpose. I have clarity and focus of work and everything. And then comes this little baby. And she's quirky, guys. She makes me laugh.
Even her first steps were quirky too. You should see this girl ballet her way through it. What's your advice to moms? Because we do want advice sometimes, and sometimes we feel that people with ours, because your baby is older now, and therefore it makes you an expert in younger babies and you can give advice. What's your advice to new mommies and your message to them? A message from Quanita Adams.
A message to new moms is just, it's gonna change. I know that wherever you are, whatever the challenge is right now, it feels insurmountable. It feels all-encompassing. It feels like it is everything and it's never going to change. And everyone will tell you this. But I promise you, in exactly 3 weeks, you're going to miss the challenge that you're dealing with now. You're going to be like, remember when the worst of it was she didn't feel like eating? Because there's going to come a new thing that you're going to be like, oh man, I miss those days. You know what I mean? So it feels like it's never going to end, but it will end and it will be replaced by a whole new thing. You just keep hanging in there and just listen to your network, you know?
I like that. Listen to your network, guys.
And it's okay that you don't know. Okay. It's okay.
Quick fire. New or vintage?
Go. Vintage.
New clothes or hand-me-downs?
Hand-me-downs.
Krulhare of reguit hare?
Krulhare.
Big family or small family?
Small family. I have to tell a very funny story. So they take her out, and Brian takes her off to cut the thing, and they clean her up, and they bring her back, and of course I am drugged to the gills.
Why did they drug you?
Well, no, because of the epidural.
Oh, right. So
so I'm like, I'm tripping, right? Apparently, I keep saying to Brian, I know I'm not supposed to feel my legs, but I keep trying to do these Kegel exercises. And Brian's just like, ha, 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 that's my wife, that's my wife. The midwife goes, and she puts her down, and then she grabs her face like this. And she forces me to make eye contact. She's like, make eye contact, make eye contact. Look into her eyes, look into her eyes. And then eventually, we make eye contact, and she says, there's the bonding. There's the bonding. And I was just like, yes, there is the bonding. But it's just like, even in my high as a kite state, I was just like, this is funny, guys. This is funny. There's the bonding. She was so excited, but gripping my face, gripping the baby's face, forcing us to make eye contact, look at each other, be like, there's the bonding. So, even as I was attempting to defy the epidural and do Kegel exercises, he was serious comedy in those moments, you know.
But see, it's because you recognize the funny. You see, in that moment, you could either feel offended. It's like when my baby was born, this nurse was trying to convince me she wants her daddy, not you. She wants her daddy. I was like, she can't even cry, man. Don't tell me that my baby wants the daddy.
Do you know what I mean?
Laugh about it. No,
you gotta laugh. You gotta laugh.
You're teaching me something. You're teaching me something. Oh gosh, you are so funny. Quanita Adams, if you just joined us, award-winning actress, writer, and director. Speaking of which, on Human Rights Day, I had the opportunity to watch one of her feature films. I am not just proud, I feel like you have a message to each woman and child and person out there that is trying to find their resilience, a message to themselves, that's trying to find out whether they just want to do something without other people telling them what to do. Ons sê altyd dat ander mense nie hoef voor te skryf nie. The film features a stellar cast, including Chanel Davids, Vinette Ibrahim, Charlene Suti Richards, Ilse Klink, Bianca Flanders, Basil Apollos, my gunsteling, Maurice Kapiri, my ou held, and Aisha Nel.
Elaine, nee, daar is die waar nie. Sy ken 'n storie.
Ek is so bly ek het finally 'n spot by jou gekry. Jy's in demand, hoor.
She's an incredible student and dedicated stylist.
Yes, well, it's just something about her I don't like.
Sy's actually die beste at her skills, you know. Die way haar.
Say nervous?
Nervous for what? If you fail to prepare, prepare to fail. And you are prepared, yes? Yes, mommy. En nee, ek is nie nervous hier, dis maar net 'n formality. Theory, dan prak, dan die res van my career.
But you was not going to get your own salon for a long time.
I messaged the estate agent on the website. I'm putting in an offer. Die plek staan al vir hoe lank al leeg and now because I want it, now the bank says denied.
My baby is net 'n minor setback.
Of Krishna. Well, I heard about your little home setup.
So I thought I'd come and see for myself.
I'm being sued, Pfizer.
I tried to tell you.
Jy het geweet. I'm trying, mommy. I'ma just leave it. Leave it to do what? To grow, mommy. Like, no more chemicals, no more straightening.
You are bigger than Raven.
Sy het dit met haar eie kan doen, ek kan sy mos nou. Obviously, met my. Haar het ook doen.
Surprise.
Kan nie meer nie.
A real swirl coast, oh my word. How did you come up with the concept of the movie? It's not like you swirl your hair.
I
Or
did.
do you? Oh, you did.
I did as a child. My mother, I must always say that hair in a house on the Cape Flats, it's anger management. You know, you can always tell if your mommy had a good day or a bad day. She's like, come, I need to brush your hair. And she just, you know, it's like therapy.
There's a scene like that in the movie. Yeah.
Exactly. And as I said, like I've lived with this hair for 43 years and it has been through the most, you know what I mean? Like when I was born, I had like straight hair. My Muslim family was like, oh. And then the hormones came. And as my mother said, the sun rose over my forehead and she's to huis toe gegaan. And then my family was just like, oh, well, that's interesting. And then that's when I started noticing that people will treat you differently because of your hair. I was like, that's not cool. And it just, you know, as a young woman, when you kind of decide what you're going to be, and it's your politics and your feminism, and it became about my hair. You know what I mean? Like I wore my hair in defiance. It's like I dare you to say something about my hair. Then I'm going to show you. And then eventually, as you get older, you realize that actually it is just your hair. And so to kind of come full circle where I'm not about to tell someone who straightens their hair, be it with a product or a chemical or a heat treatment. I'm like, your relationship with your hair is so personal.
It's yours, yeah.
And so it's yours. I'm not actually trying to tell you what to do with your hair. I happen to love natural hair. I love encouraging women to rock their natural hair. But if what you're telling me is you feel beautiful when you take that swirl coast off, or you take the rollers out and you can pull a brush through your hair and that makes you feel like the best version of yourself, then do you, auntie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Love the movie. So proud.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love the fact that the lead, I mentioned it on air the other day. I mentioned that the lead is not someone that we see in movies all the time. You know, it was so refreshing to see a new talent. It's wonderful that while having a baby and breastfeeding, wait, check this picture out. So she's breastfeeding on set while holding her baby and calling shots, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
And that day, my husband and my mom came and visited on set, just the one day. And it just happened to kind of coincide with the time. And she was a little bit fussy, and it wasn't even an issue. And I love that pick because I'm also surrounded just by women. If you look in the crew, it's just, you know, the woman beside me, they're just women. And it wasn't even a thing with the breast pump, because every day I would also have to pump, and then I would take the little bags and I would take it to Auntie Shamila at catering, who would put it in the little freezer container. And obviously everybody's like, oh, you're going to make a cappuccino, or you're going to make a latte. I'm like, shut up, I'll give you that milk. I'll give you that.
Really nice. I mean,
so it's just the way everybody kind of came together and really just held me. You know what I mean? Like, it's my first time to be on set in this way. It was so overwhelming. It was the first time to be
away from your
mother.
baby.
I had these like incredible breast shields that would like catch some of the letdown. I was walking around feeling like a superhero because I had these like shields on my boobs, and I felt like Superwoman. And to be celebrated and really like held up as a superhero on set is pretty cool.
You are a superhero. You're a mum, and we're just glad that we could have your time. Quanita Adams,